check it out. Yo, tension.
Hey, what's up guys? This is the Real Triad. How you guys doing? I'm doing great. I hope everyone else is doing fantastic. For my gun review, I have the MK48, which is the first LMG you unlock, which is at level 4. Okay, so it does damages between 25 to 40, which is incredibly high. It will take an average of 3 to 4 bullets to get a kill, not accounting headshots. Magazine size 100 on the belt, and it has an extra 200 on the side. So keep in mind, this is actually a belt-fed LMG, so it takes much longer to reload compared to the magazine LMGs. Alright, and also the RPM or the fire rate of this gun is at 600 RPM, which is fairly low, but with this high damage rate, it doesn't need a high fire rate. Alright, so let's get into the attachments. The first one, EO Tech Sight. Alright, I really normally don't recommend the EO Tech Sight or the holographic sight just due to its clunky frame on the sight, but for this gun it works out incredibly well, especially because all the times either you're running gun and hip fire or you're going to be spraying them down, and more of that pray and spray or spray and pray, whatever you guys call it, you know. So yeah, I really do recommend EO Tech Sight. Foregrip. As well as the foregrip, this attachment is actually really good for this gun, and I really do recommend it just because on that spray and pray level of play style, you really do want to have a really controlled recoil, and having foregrip really does help. FMJ, or Full Metal Jacket. Alright, so out of all attachments, this attachment makes this gun even more powerful when it comes to campers. Like, you know, a lot of times with people in through windows or camping here and there, well, this with FMJ, it makes that even more deadly by just being able to shoot through the wall, even easier carrying damage throughout that, you know, penetrating through the wall. So FMJ, I do recommend. Reflex sight. Okay, this sight as well, I do recommend. Just having that sight so you can be able to spray and pray really helps out. Quick draw handle. I would only really recommend quick draw handle for people who actually run around a lot with this gun, more like the running gunners with an LMG. I use it myself, or I have used it myself for LMGs, and it definitely does help you out if you do run and gun. But if you're the type of player who kind of stays behind, a little bit more campy, then it's really not recommended. Target finder. By far the best sight and best attachment for most guns, especially LMGs, especially the MK48. That attachment works out really well, so I do recommend Target Finder. Adjustable stock. Alright, I really don't find that effective unless you literally walk around scoped in all the time, which I really hate players playing that way. It just frustrates me that you stay scoped in the whole time. Like, it's ridiculous. ACOG sight. The chunky sight, the only sight I probably don't recommend for this gun. It's just too chunky, too clunky, too obscures your view too much, and I just don't recommend it. Laser sight. Okay, you don't really need a laser sight for an LMG. Like, you're not going to run around hip fire all the time, and if you do, you have 100 rounds to be spraying from the hip, so you don't really need a laser sight to exactly make your shots accurate, and you're not going to be hip firing often enough to actually use it. So laser sight, not recommended. Suppressor is something I really do recommend for this gun. I mean, if you don't want that stealth bonus, then be my guest, but because of its high damage rate, and you know, this one thing I didn't include, but it does carry its damage rate the furthest of all LMGs, so if you want to do long range battles, this is the LMG to do it with. So using suppressor really doesn't dumb down the weapon that much, but then if you're going to do a suppressor with any other LMG, then this is the LMG you should do it with, just because of its highest damage rate and highest damage rate throughout range. So suppressor is really all about opinion on that one. Stealth bonus, but then you do lose a little bit of damage in range, but I honestly say I do recommend it. Variable zoom. Okay, I don't like variable zoom for any LMG or any kind of stuff like that. It's just too... The scope is too obscuring, so I really don't recommend it. Okay, so extended clips. Alright, from that 100 magazine belt, 100 bullet belt and 200 on the side, you jump to 135 per belt and 270 on the side. So think about it. If you do 3 to 4 bullets to get a kill and you have extra 35 bullets on that extra belt, or on your belt, you honestly don't have to reload for another 3, 4, 5 people. So that's incredible. Keep that in mind. That's actually pretty beastly, and I do recommend extended mags if you really do want, or extended mags or extended clip, whatever you guys want to call it for this gun. Hybrid optic. Skip. Just another chunky sight that I don't recommend. Rapid fire. Okay, so it jumps it from that 600 base RPM to 720 RPM, making that RPM and that damage rate together combination even more deadly. So something I really do recommend if you want to be able to be more of a beast mode running around with a really high damage rate and a pretty high fire rate LMG. And lastly, the dual band scope. A scope that I normally wouldn't really like, but I really do like the dual band scope. It actually plays out really well, just because I like that differentiate of colors, making people, you can identify people much easier. So that's basically, that's the MK48. Do I recommend this gun? Yes and no. I really say that if you do use it, I say definitely put it with extended clips, just because of that reloading takes about 8 seconds. So that's incredibly slow. I mean, if you get any other LMG, it reloads in like 4 seconds or under 5 seconds with the magazine. If you get any belt-fed ones, they just reload really slow, and you don't want to get caught ever reloading. But other than that, there's definitely one of those guns that you can call a spray and pray gun, because you do a lot of damage in a little amount of time, and with 100 bullets, you can be killing people end on end without reloading. So this is actually a really fun gun to use, but not exactly the most practical, just because movement speeds are pretty slow. So that's pretty much it. That's the MK48, and hope you guys like this video, and see you guys next time. Peace.